Yes, it's finally time to put away that old slip and slide and get ready to build an ice skating rink. This year we decided to build our own ice rink in the backyard. If you're going to do this, you should probably start while the ground is still soft. We went to the lumberyard and bought 1x6 boards, also some grade stakes, also some plastic liner. This cost about $51, which is not too expensive. All over the internet, the plans and kits for building an ice rink seem to involve watertight liners and strong supports. But we are not trying to make this watertight. The plastic is just to stop some water running between the boards. The idea is to build up the ice a little bit at a time, and these boards will not have any weight on them at all. This part of the yard has a pretty good downhill slant, so we will have to build the downhill slope a little higher. Now, what game are these children thinking about playing? I don't know about this. Here's what I'm thinking. I've noticed that if you have a large block of ice outside, it does not really change much. Even if the weather gets hot, it melts, but it does not change its shape very much. If, however, you have water sitting in a pool, when it gets warm, that ice turns to slushy, watery mess. This is our basic idea, to slowly build up a large block of ice, and if some ice melts, the water will simply run off and leaving you a large block of ice. You can start building up your ice when the temperature is still above freezing. Just sneak down to the backyard at night when the weather is below freezing and start watering the lawn, of course. You should water until you see puddles forming, then go back in the house, let the water freeze, and come back and water some more. In this way you will slowly build up enough ice to have a base. Soon it will be cold enough to water during the day. Do the same thing. Water until you see puddles form, let the ice freeze, then come out and water some more. In this way you have an ice base and a heat sink. Neighbors and passing animals may wonder just what the heck it is you're doing. Well, just tell them you're getting an early jump on next year's garden. Now, if you're ready to jump in, let's start with the sprinkler. Now, the sprinkler is a very useful tool, but you should still only fill up your rink about a half an inch at a time, then let it freeze. All over the internet, I see kits with strong supports and waterproof liners. I'm not too sure about this idea. If your yard is on a slant like mine, you can see that the sprinkler will slowly fill it in from the bottom first. You can see that if the ice should start to melt during a warm spell, you will never have to worry about a liner bursting or leaking or slushing. The ice may become smaller, but you can simply fill it in again once the temperature is below freezing. Oh, look, now it has snowed a lot. Now let's see. Instead of shoveling out all that snow, I decided to get out the sprinkler and turn 4 inches of snow into 4 inches of slush. I have specially designed equipment for flattening out the slush. You must remember, every footstep you make in the slush will become a footprint in the ice, which you will eventually have to smooth out, so try not to leave too many footprints. My slush flattening equipment is very cute, but it does require an awful lot of care and feeding and nurturing. Now the sprinkler is a very useful tool, and you can see it has already flattened the ice to a large degree. But if you're going to use a hose outside during the winter, it requires special care. Every time you disconnect the hose, you must make sure that it does not freeze. If you have a heated garage, you can bring your hose inside the garage. I do not have one, so each time I must run the hose downhill to make sure all the water drains out. I bring the sprinkler inside because it freezes almost immediately. But then I walk the hose down and make sure that it lies on a downhill slant with no areas where the water could pool and freeze. It is no fun dragging a frozen hose into the kitchen in 0-degree weather. I cut off all the grade stakes so no one could fall on them. I wish I had made the boards higher because this tends to keep hockey pucks inside the ice much easier. Oh well, next year. As the weather got colder and my ice base got thicker, I eventually left the sprinkler on for 45 minutes to an hour at a time. But now who could we get to test this ice?
Just slide down the slide. Just slide down the slide. But when you're feeling so down now that you can't think about it anymore, just slide down the slide. Just slide down the ride. When you're riding down the ride, make sure to say woohoo. Woohoo. Gunther, my name is Gunther, my name is Gunther. My name is Gunther. Slosh down the slosh, just slosh down the slosh.
Now, just after Christmas, we hit a warm spell of 40 to 50 degree weather. The ice and snow around the rink turned to slush, but the ice on the rink itself remained flat and nice and skatey. I think it is worth the extra time and effort to build up the ice layer by layer. It seems more durable. It does not seem to have the risk of turning into slush. And I am told that it is somewhat nicer to skate in 40 degree weather than in 4 degree weather. Who knew? Now, if you have some extra wire and some extra electricity, you can run a light out for nighttime skating. I have found that children react well to this. Always remember, it is very important to shovel off all the snow as soon as it falls. Snow is your enemy. For some reason, snow quickly turns into slush when it lays on the ice. I think it is important to call in the Zamboni crew every day.